AI will completely replace physicians. AI is going to be focusing on improving the operational side of medicine.
What do you think is the future of specialties in the USA when the AI is becoming so... Dr. Julia, I was wondering this morning, if I have to improve the American healthcare system, I want to contribute by AI. Hello everyone. Today on the Physicians Fame podcast, we are joined by Dr. Julia Kovalenko, who is an attending physician at Old Dominion University, Eastern Virginia Medical Center in Virginia. She is one of the phenomenal physicians originally back from Russia. She has a lot of interest in AI. She is wonderful in teaching. We want to welcome her to our Physicians Fame podcast show. Welcome, Dr. Julia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zain. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You're very, very welcome. Dr. Julia, I was wondering this morning, if I have to improve the American healthcare system, I want to contribute by AI, since it's also one of your interests, doing things with AI. What are the few things which we should improve in the next few years?
That's a very great question that a lot of physicians and scientists and AI enthusiasts in general are wondering about as well. In fact, there is a recent GHM article bringing up the debate what our AI focus should be. And I think in the next few years, AI is going to be focusing on improving the operational side of medicine, meaning reducing the burden, the administrative burden that physicians have to stay committed to, depriving them from time that they can dedicate to their patients, meaning doing prior auth, note writing, completing some simple tasks that do not require clinical decision making. And then if AI becomes strong enough, which it is becoming smarter and smarter with years, it can be a good clinician support tool, which we know it already is. We know how AI outperforms physicians in many clinical tasks and questions. And in fact, I think open evidence just outperformed all the other AIs, and it passed USMLE with 100% success rate. So it's almost there, but we still need a human brain to operate all of this information. So I think we will first focus on the operational and administrative part of medicine, and then shift to more clinical support to AI as a clinical support tool in order to help physicians make their clinical decisions as well.
Do you know what? This is what I think. We all as physicians, we're going to get replaced by AI. Do you agree or do you disagree?
It's hard to completely disagree with it because I think AI surprised us a lot in the recent years. However, I will remain skeptical for now. I think we do need a human brain to correct the mistakes, and I don't think it's a safe practice right now to just divert everything and make AI responsible for humans' lives at this point, because there's still so much we don't know about AI.
The Epic EMR, they just launched the specialty AIs. This means is a lot of specialty doctors, they're going to lose their job because the hospitals are going to only consult if they really, really need a specialist. If something related to AI is working, I don't think so they're going to do that. So what do you think is the future of specialties in the USA when the AI is becoming so successful, especially in the area of ChatGPT and multiple other integrations? What do you think about it?
I think it actually might be more of a problem for mid-level providers rather than doctors itself. I think AI is going to replace mid-level providers first, and the physicians will remain supervisors to AI that might help make straightforward algorithm-based clinical decisions, write notes based on the EMR, automatic chart review, kind of a situation. However, I don't believe that we are facing the point where AI would completely replace specialists. The reason for it is because fellowship takes a long time for a reason, right? It takes about 3 years to become cardiologist, maybe 5 you want to be EP cardiologist, and 3 years for hemonc, and there's a reason for that. It's a lot of information. I don't think it's as simple as algorithm-based steps that can be easily replaced by AI. So I think we're not where we should be overly concerned. I think we're facing a situation where we will have a lot of responsibilities taken from our shoulders rather than be threatened by AI as MDs or DOs.
So what are your thoughts about a resident who strictly uses AI in documentation, not using his own brain?
I don't think it's a good idea. In fact, we do have AI system implemented in our EMR at my institution, and I never use it because I think it's very redundant. It does a lot of mistakes, and it accounts certain things that should not be accounted for during note writing, diverting your mind from important points in terms of past medical history and your clinical decision making. So I think, I would prohibit interns specifically to use AI in order to write their notes, because I think what notes help us in is shaping our clinical thinking, specifically in our early career. So I think that's just not a good practice as of now.
When the calculator was launched, a lot of people who were very, very smart, they used to hate the calculator because their value was undermined, because now there was a dumb person who was using a calculator and doing a better job as compared to a person who was very smart, but still there was a chance of making a mistake, because as a human we have this, that we can make mistakes. If, let's suppose, AI becomes such an entity, it does not make any mistake, do you think still you're gonna be persistent with your thoughts about the intern, or you think you're gonna say, okay, let's give the authority to the AI, or you can give the authority to the intern that, okay, you can use the AI in the notes?
I mean, yeah, what you're saying makes sense. I think there is a big potential for AI, and I'm going to change my mind if I see AI outperforming physicians in those tasks. I'm just talking about what we're facing right now, that AI is still not perfect. And I think for now, the supervision from the physician side is so important that we need to keep training new physicians. But could there be a chance that AI will completely replace physicians in the future, in a matter of next 5 or 10 years? It's not impossible. I just think that it's very hard to rely on something so machinery operated in the area that involves human lives. It's not just your editing area or something related to art or engineering even. It's human life. So your mistake price is very high. That's why we got to be very careful with that.
I have a thought. Once the people match, like after residency in the orientation, why don't the residency programs don't give the orientation of how to use AI during your residency, what to do, what not to do? Because what I have felt so far with the AI is, if you know how to use AI, you will be one of the best person. If you don't know how to use AI, and if still you are using, you will be one of the worst person, even worse than a person who is using his own brain. So what this means is, because there is a concept called prompt engineering. If you know what prompts you're going to give to the AI, you're going to get better results. What I have felt so far with the AI experience is utilizing it for rephrasing text. It's one of the best way to mitigate the mistakes which a human brain can make, and also save time. But as an intern, I will also stick with my stance that residency programs has to upgrade their level where they can train people how to use AI rather than saying, no, you cannot.
And I completely agree with you there. I think AI is developing so fast that we are just not keeping up with our education in order to adjust our learning modules to fit the new era we're living in. The problem is, I think residency program are not investing enough time, and they just don't have enough staff and interest in exploring this area. But I'm going to tell you what, we just won a grant for an educational grant to promote education on AI. And I think that's the future of every residency program. What I think is it's very important to implement all of these lectures and trainings into the basic internal medicine or other training. The problem is you have to be smart enough in order to operate all of this AI prompt engineering thing. You have to know clinical medicine well enough, and you have to know how to use AI well enough. And using this knowledge, combining it together, you can be the very successful physician. I agree with you. It can take a lot of time off your shoulders, taking the burden of writing emails, generating prompts. I mean, you can ask ChatGPT to generate the prompt for open evidence and create a research project just like that in a matter of hours, other than like sitting there for days and like editing it for days. Isn't it nice? It is. You have to know medicine well enough in order to identify gaps, research area gaps, or you have to know how to edit it, because although AI is doing great, unfortunately, it's not perfect enough in both, clinical decision-making, statistics. You can use AI to make statistics this day, but you do need a person to supervise it. So I completely agree with you there. I just think we should not completely shift our focus towards AI training, because we don't want trainees to act like mid-level providers practicing algorithm-based medicine.
So what that means is like a PCP job is going to be in danger.
For sure. I think the more complex your job is, the more complex your education is, the more value you're going to provide. And those specialties that are going to be affected will definitely include something very algorithm-based like PCP, and maybe something on the pattern recognition side as well, which means pathology, diagnostic radiology, maybe endocrine sometimes, something that's very algorithm-based, but we'll see.
A lot of people ask us that, do you think the AI is going to make it possible, just AI is going to lose your job or not? But what I think is the AI is not going to take your job. The person using AI is going to take your job.
That's a great point.
Because AI can never, I wouldn't say never, but AI is not going to do 100% of a job. AI can do like 80% of the job, like 1,000 times better than a human. Mm-hmm. But you still need a human for the rest of the 20% job.
100%.
And if you have an amalgam, you are never going to lose job. You're going to get more jobs. Because if a company or any hospital is using AI, this means they are going level up in their success rate. Whenever a company is successful, do they hire more people or do they lay off? They hire more people. So what I think is, it's just a different perspective about AI. People should learn AI rather than just be afraid that, okay, we are in danger at this point.
I agree with you there. I think it's very important to stay updated with whatever is going on in the AI area in order to be on top of all of the trends and tendencies, and that's extremely important. And I think getting education in the AI area is actually a great asset to your career. And that's like back to your point that you said that some people were criticizing calculators back then, and now we cannot survive without empty calc, and it just doesn't make sense to calculate everything yourself. It's just, the pointless loss of your time, valuable time that you can dedicate to actual decision making or something very important. So I agree with you completely. You have to stay updated on those things in order to be demanded.
I have a very funny thing to share, but a smart thing to share. is about the GPT, which I have created so far. I clicked a photo of all of my clothes, each and everything. I create a file and then create a GPT. Now, I ask every day from that GPT, please make a combination of what I'm gonna wear. And it sounds so unrealistic that it gives you, like, for example, what colors to wear with what, how are you gonna look good, what's gonna be best on you with what type of socks, what type of shoes. And I think there is a lot more potential in AI rather than it's just getting started. Do you have any experience with the AI? Any such experience where you are making the most in medicine field?
In the medicine field. So I think for me, obviously, I'm using it for email writing and, text editing and things like that. But I think the way it blew my mind is how you can utilize AI to create research project ideas. You can talk to ChatGPT or Open Evidence to unwind some ideas in your mind, to talk through the research area gaps with them and help shape your research idea better. And you can literally talk to it, almost in real time, like you would talk to your partner, to your research collaborator. And I think it's just brilliant how you can not only just use it for administrative tasks, but almost like create something together.
Yeah. I think I was also thinking about the open evidence, which you mentioned earlier. Like, how do you think open evidence is coping up and how they are going on the top of the game?
That's a great question. I think they're very smart people because they're obviously not the only ones. They were among the first ones, but they outperformed a lot of other platforms. And I think, just being smart and detail-oriented, I think trying to cover all the information out there that they're citing and they're researching is very important. They seem pretty straightforward and open about all of the reference they're analyzing and the information they're giving. So probably that's how, obviously, those are just incredible people with incredible background and a brilliant idea. But I think staying consistent, staying reliable is what actually made them so valuable these days. Because, ChatGPT was already out there, but we know how it made mistakes. It was very biased in terms of which journals or which literature it would analyze. I also think that because Open Evidence started partnership with certain journals, it just got more access to something that is not that easily available to other platforms. So they really went deep into trying to get access to a very, very strong information to provide doctors.
Yeah, I think the world is trying to adapt for the AIs, and especially the open evidence is also doing great things. A lot of other platforms are also coping up, launching their AIs. I think the world is going to be a great place now. Yeah, better than before, right?
For sure. I'm such an AI enthusiast, I can't even tell.
So what do you think about your bag? The bag you use, the ladies' bag? If that has, the whole bag is covered with a screen and it changes the colors according to where you go. Might be if you have a night event, it changes according to that. You're going to beach, might be it's going to change the colors. The ambience is going to be such that you don't even have to think about it. You're going to go with that same bag and everyone is going to look, okay, wow, your bag is different every time. And it's going to happen with the AI because AI is going to sense the surrounding. What do you think about this idea?
There's so many ideas around AI, and I think its potential is just endless. And if we take it to extreme, you can literally probably wear some glasses and just sleep in your bed for the entire day with AI generating some people around you and some circumstances, and to mimic your performance, and then you don't even have to do anything. And that's what scares me. I don't think we should deprive ourselves from creativity, from real life experience, and just get immersed into AI. I think those are all good things. I just want humans to stay humans and utilize AI in the best way possible. However, I would like to choose my back color myself. Clothes?
Yeah, AI.
Clothes color or clothes color for now.
Clothes color. For example, if the clothes are replaced
I know what you're saying.
by something related to, that's like a fabric that is more illuminating, but that's more having like a screen vibe and can change colors. Integrated with that.
It sounds like a video game. I mean, I would try it. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I would go for it,
Go for it.
just to try. But I enjoy choosing my clothes by myself. That's what I'm saying, I think we should not, we should keep living through our human experiences while using AI to improve our life.
20 years ago, did you even imagine that we are going to carry this phone in the pocket every time we're going to go outside? No, right? But I think it might be like there's a time when something is replaced by some another thing. Like, in the old age, like people did not have clothes. They used to wear like leaves and all the stuff. Then it's replaced. But maybe it's just like a thought. And I think people will be able to more open to the thoughts, and there will be reluctance in the initial phase. But might be, I think, sooner or later, but there is gonna something, because everyone is working for creativity, changing the world and everything, right?
Yeah, I have an opinion on that, carrying our phone everywhere. And I think it's great. We have to, like I said, it's very important to stay updated. But I think, the capacity of our brain is a little limited in terms of it's important to stay healthy and to stay grounded. What I mean is we get so emotionally overstimulated by like Instagram content. Right now, average person consumes more than consumes more information in one day compared to what person consumed in their lifetime 100 years ago. And our brain just gets overstimulated. That leads to insomnia, some mental health problems. So I think it's just important to maintain the balance, staying updated and consuming a lot of content, and getting all of this stimulation and reciprocating that while staying a little bit grounded, down to earth. That's back to my point of where I think we should not deprive ourselves from some human experience. That's the only point I make. That being said, I would like to stay updated. If there's some more tools coming up, I'm definitely purchasing them and I'm participating. It's just, there has to be a balance everywhere.
Got it. I think I like the thoughts you're having. There has to be an amalgam rather than, and also ideas we can come up with ideas, but the execution is also the main thing. But I think slowly the world is going to be a better place. I think so.
For sure. Just hope our brains survive through that.
That is true. So I'm also thinking about, as a you being attending physician from the last almost 2 years. So now I'm going to talk about a little bit, how do you think international medical graduates can adapt in their journey? What are a few things which they can do to network or before residency?
That's a great question. I think, the key domain that will lead you to success as an IMG is finding the right mentor. So when I started my USMLE journey, there was barely anyone around me to help me find good resources and help me build my journeys the most time-efficient way. Finding people around you who went through the same thing, or mentors who can help you with research, maybe some USMLE preparation, providing you with resources is extremely important. So I think that's where you should start. Dedicate some time in finding a person who could guide you through the process, and then just follow those steps. And again, surround yourself with people who did it if you can, so you can learn something from their experience.
And from your past experience, like how much money do you think it takes as an IMG from the very beginning to do clinical rotations, USMLEs, applying for residency? So how much money or investment a person should think in the mind before they start this journey?
I think that's a great question. and the amount of money you spend can vary. You can take a bunch of private courses and clinical electives, and those are great, but you don't actually have to spend that much money. I didn't, my parents weren't rich, so I passed USMLE by myself. I didn't pay for any courses. Obviously, you have to purchase USMLE question banks. You can't go without UWorld. You have to take some assessment courses. That's something out of the question. But as far as some private companies that provide electives, I think in order to save some money and to do everything in the most efficient way is actually trying to find mentors and collaborate with people, and that way you can get some clinical rotations that you don't actually have to pay for. I know you're running the company on the research support, which I think is great for those who can afford it, but you can also find a mentor who would do it for you for free. That being said,
yes,
resources can be limited and you cannot just reach everyone through the Instagram.
We as a company, we are very transparent. Like, we ask people, okay, your choice is yours. You can find free opportunities. Like, if in case like you are having difficulty, because all of the people are not able to find the free opportunities, and sometimes if they find the free opportunities, and it's easy to say no for a person like in the middle. Sometimes this happens, like a past not great experiences what a few people have told me. But if, let's suppose you think you can afford, I think you can go for it, but it's totally dependent on the person who is being involved. But I think we are trying to help with others. We are trying to make it possible. Even we introduced like a system where we introduced like a waivers, like a 50% fee waiver for all of the countries who are in the category of UIM. UIM means is like underrepresented in medicine. There are like more than like 30 countries from which people come. We give them like 50% waivers. So yeah, everybody is going to be contributing. I'll just to assist like medical applicants so they can transition easily into the residency match process. Yeah, I was also thinking, what are the few visa issues do you think the new cohort is going to face, which we did not face before when we were here?
I think that's a very good and relevant question, specifically with everything going on in the world and in the area of immigration policy in the United States right now. The proclamation that just recently got released by the White House related to H-1B visa ban is probably not going to be affecting doctors, because doctors are not even participating in the lottery, which sounds like these rules that they're going to apply will only be relevant towards the lottery for other specialties. However, I wonder if hospitals will be a little hesitant in sponsoring H-1B visas for new trainees, because they might be afraid of facing some new rules and new laws in the recent future related to how much money it's going to take for them. Is it going to take a toll on them later on if they accept H-1B and then suddenly there's a new rule that you have to pay so much money? Which is why I think for trainees, it's probably important to stay open to all type of visas residents have to offer. I know H-1B is much better in terms of the green card sponsorship timeline. However, I think in the era that we're living in, it's very important to stay open-minded and consider doing your residency on J1 visa and being open to that, because that's at least going to be sponsored by ECFMG 100% and not be undermined by state law.
Got it. I still remember like almost 4 months ago, there was a very hot issue going because the new administration has banned the new J1 visas appointments in multiple countries. And it was such a hot topic that Forbes reached out to me. They said, we want your opinion because we are running the organization. So what is the reality? Because we know the ground level, what IMGs can face. So we did explain, we did spread the word. We did some couple of shows, to just spread the word, how IMGs is going to face. Because this is not the IMGs who are going to suffer. This is the American population who is going to suffer. Because American population does not deserve to suffer because of the lack of doctors. No J1, this means less doctors. Almost 50% of the doctors in the USA are from the overseas. So it's very good to open more new medical schools, new residency program, train more doctors, but I think the issues related to visas need to resolve as soon as possible. And at that point, when Forbes was reaching out and other news companies were reaching out, we did start a campaign like with the other organizations. Like, I'm very, very happy that a lot of other organizations also jumped in. They contributed in spreading the word. So within the time frame of like around 10 to 15 days, they said, okay, that for the J1, the physicians who got the residency, they were getting the appointments. So the issue was sorted out. But I'm also want to thank everybody, all the organizations, especially our team and everyone who contributed in this, because this was not just like a one-man job. It was like a minute pieces of blocks which made this possible. And I really love how people come together when they see a common problem.
I didn't know that story, but it's very impressive. I mean, it's very important for people who are in the United States, trainees or doctors, are ready to advocate for those who are coming in. And like you said, it's not just advocating for IMGs who want to match into U.S. residency program. There is a reason why this gap exists. Like you said, there is just not enough medical schools to train Americans to become doctors in the U.S. And there's so many new hospitals opening. So literally every fourth doctor in the United States is an IMG, and you will never be able to close this gap if you deprive people from the ability to get their visas in time and so on and so forth. So I think the advocacy in this area is extremely important, and I think it should come from people who are already here because their voices are louder. IMGs advocating for themselves from outside is just not going to be enough. But I'm so glad these issues have resolved right now, and I hope there are not going to be a lot of hiccups in the future related to the visas for.
Yeah, but right now we also have another mountain to conquer, the H-1B, I mean.
Yeah, I think, based on what they're saying, like I said, I don't think it's going to affect doctors necessarily. What it might affect, though, it might affect the perceptions of program directors during the upcoming match cycle. Because definitely hospitals and program directors do not want to face a situation where the trainees that got accepted do not come in, because they will have to fill these gaps very quickly, and it might be a challenge. So I think the sooner the White House releases all of this rules and just making the process very, very upfront and very obvious is going to be very important for trainees and program directors.
I'm also very much happy with how American Medical Association is contributing in all of the stuff, and they're also doing a event which is upcoming soon. And I will also recommend everybody who is, especially for the IMGs, especially for that event, especially for the IMGs, and they should go and raise their concerns, get new training, like know how to connect to the people, network, make the journey easy.
100%. Yes, I think, approaching people just through social media might not be enough. So creating events where people can actually meet people and collaborate with them in a safe space where everyone can approach everyone in the proper time and place should be a commonplace these days. It has to be ubiquitous for us to just expand the community and help people out there. Because there's so many bright IMGs that just lack resources to meet the right people and make their journey more successful.
So I was also thinking about, this is the residency interview season going on. As an attending physician, what do you think how the people should prepare for their residency interviews?
You mean in the recent era or just in general?
Just in general.
I mean, it's definitely very important to do a rehearsal for some of the common questions you're going to be asked. You're going to be asked about your story, what is your 5-year plan, and maybe you will be asked to provide some examples of how you manage your patients well, or your strength and your weaknesses. I'm going to say is the person on the other side of the interview is looking for a good person to join residency program. So you have to sound vibrant, and at the end of the day, they are looking for a strong clinician, strong president that you're probably is based on your qualifications, because they already invited you for an interview, and now they're just looking for a good person to work with. although you do the rehearsal for the questions, try to sound natural, try to show that you're a good person, you're good to work with, you're gonna be someone people gonna enjoy on call or on the night shift. So I think for me as a faculty, I'm gonna definitely be looking into the personality traits when I'm doing my interview, because on the paper everyone can look equally good, and then it's just a matter of how funny and eloquent you are.
So as a faculty, when you interview, what is a knockoff from any applicant?
Obviously, if there is any inconsistency and lack of transparency, and you just feel like person does not sound natural at all, that might be a red flag. It's very hard to identify real red flags because you can pretend to be pretty much everyone. But I'm gonna go with someone who sounds natural, who is funny, who seems to be a good person. Maybe their English is not perfect, maybe they have some accent. But as long as they seem like a good person, I'm good with that. What we don't want is to work with the people who are, sociopath, who lack empathy, who just look in front of the camera on Zoom and they just sound very robotic. I don't want to be with that person because I don't know how I'm going to feel about them. I can literally say nothing about what's on their mind. So that's something scary. But again, it's extremely challenging. It's almost like a psychology, right?
Yeah.
For someone to identify those things.
I still remember when in family medicine, when they interview, there is also a psychologist who interviews, because as a family doctor, you have to be on the top of the game for regarding empathy, because you're the first call from the baby to the grandpas, right? So yeah, I think the interview part is very, very important, and also the transparency is important, the empathy is important, and you have to be natural, I would say. Yeah, that's what I have learned so far from you. Okay.
Correct.
And I'm also thinking about, a lot of people ask about, should we write letter of interest? Should we write letter of intent? But do you think as a program these things value?
I think it's worth a shot, unless you were told to not specifically write those letters, because some programs are just against it and they don't want to get too much of an input from the applicants out there. I think you should go for it. Use every opportunity. Worst case scenario, they're going to ghost you, but if that's going to help you get an interview, that's worth a shot.
I see. I was super upset with one of the interview which I did when I was applying, and the reason behind that was because after the interview, the residency program director, he said, okay, we have a upcoming virtual event, you guys are welcome to join that, but I just want to assure you that it's not mandatory, it's not gonna impact the ACGME, it's not gonna impact the rank order list. Okay, so this was his word, these were his words. But I came to know by one of the residents from their program that the same program director said to them, no, I do check that who show up, who show not. But that's lack of transparency from the residency program, and I didn't like that. So do you think it's something happens in every program or almost every program? Or what's your advice if a program director says that, okay, we are you in the virtual event, after the interview, you can come or you cannot if you have a choice. It's not going to impact your rank order list.
Yeah. I think the transparency has to be ingrained in both sides of the game. I think the program directors and leadership has to be as transparent as trainees are. Maybe people are going to be biased by the attendance rates, because if you attended all the events, you're clearly interested in the place, so maybe you'll get more attention from the leadership because they will know that you probably want to get there. But judging upon that without really, transparent, without transparently letting them know ahead of time, I don't think that's proper. I think both sides have to be transparent enough, because trainees and applicants, they deserve to be treated with respect as well.
Yes.
And I don't think that's ubiquitous at all. Certainly not happening in my residency program where I work at right now.
Got it. And lastly, I would just like to know want to talk about a little bit about your influencer journey. How did you manage to become an influencer, like a social media influencer, physician influencer, I would say?
I wouldn't call myself too much of an influencer. I have some followers on Instagram, but it is just my hobby. You know, I started with YouTube channel dedicated to youth assembly preparation, and you know, as a kid, I wanted to be a movie director, actually. So I was always interested in like filming stuff and talking to the camera. So that's something that I'm passionate about. And then when I became an attending, I just had more time and I had some inspiration to create things on social media. And I don't want to create things purposelessly. I want to contribute. You know, I want to advocate for someone if I can, because like I said, we have a voice. We as physicians in the U.S., we have a voice to advocate for physicians, trainees, residents, applicants, all of those people. So I think I'm using my Instagram as a platform to advocate for well-being, and also I'm speaking for myself. You know, my page is dedicated to well-being of physicians and highlighting the importance of maintaining your hobbies and not becoming a shell of the person you used to be before you USMLE journey. And I just love it.
No, I love your poster ideas. You know, we did couple together, and I loved it. And it's a very great, unique way to sometimes, you know, spread the word in the crowdy world. Like it's so crowded, and then, you know, you even if you are authentic, you have some sort of like diamonds which you have to spread. Sometimes it feels like people are not interested in the diamonds, but we have to force that. Okay, we have diamonds for you. Let's give it to you, but in the different ways. I really, really like this idea of doing in the form of a poster.
Thank you. I think it's just important. It's important to be creative on social media in order to get some attention, because if you just post something, no one's going to read it, right? You got to be creative, and then you can relay any message through your creativity, no matter what it is. So thank you, and I think you're doing a great job as well.
All right. Regarding the H-1B visa, with the recent proclamation, if there is a resident who is already on H-1B, now that person is expecting he or she is going to get the green card as soon as possible after residency. They don't have to do the waiver. But if now they want to go into fellowship, and now what are the circumstances, or what are the consequences where a person who is a resident going from H-1B to J-1 and the cardio, let's suppose he or she is doing cardio or pulmo, whatever. But shifting from H-1B to J-1, how do you see this?
Yeah, I think that's an extremely interesting question that doesn't have a straightforward answer. I think the decision related to that, it has to be individualized, because you know what I like to say is that J-1 visa approved in Pakistan or Russia is not the same J-1 visa that is approved in Canada, right? Certain countries have, you know, some certain rules, and there are some difficulties that some people can face coming from developing countries, right? So I think securing your immigration status is very important in the area we're living in, because it might be just very challenging to travel, and with all of the rules coming up, it's probably better to secure your immigration status as soon as you can. That being said, person may have different priorities. If you're absolutely not seeing yourself doing anything besides cardiology or GI, and you couldn't stand waiting for your green card to come, which I think the average timeline right now is approximately about 2 to 3 years to get it, then you should go for your fellowship first and switch to J1. Although you have to understand that you'll have to go to underserved area later on, and in order to find that at a specialist, that's going to be a pretty challenging journey for you. So what I would do though, I would probably get my green card first. That's exactly what I'm doing right now, because it's just giving you more freedom, and I don't think there is any timeline that you have to. There's no agenda to your journey. You can just do whatever you want. Getting your green card is going to give you so much freedom, moonlighting throughout your fellowship, doing some other things, some side gigs, and supporting your family, versus sacrificing everything to just get your fellowship done in time. I don't know how I feel about this idea anymore. I know people who did that, and some of them were happy with the decision, but some of them were not, because that's a lot of sacrifice.
Got it. Okay. I think what I've understood so far is like don't jump from H1B to J1. Just do your hospitalist job, or get the green card first.
Probably. You were already lucky enough to get the H1 for residency program, right? Just get your green card and do everything else after. But I'm not giving any advice here, it's just my perception.
Got it. Well, I think the next question which I have for you is about more of the well-being. I think this is a topic which for a lot of years we were very, very afraid to talk about, but I think now people are more open, everybody is more open. So how do you see as a physician advocate for well-being?
Yeah, I think we should take well-being measures to a new level, not keep it superficial, like creating 15-minute break or like free yoga sessions or like pizza for employers, because those things just don't work, right? We're facing the very high rate of physician burnout these days coming from internal medicine and specialists and surgeons. So I think we should consider our medical career as a marathon rather than a sprint. So every person is responsible for identifying their level of burnout and taking care of themselves. And I think it's very important to listen to yourself and maintain your core personality throughout your training. Because what happens is our training is rigorous, and there's so many unspoken rules about how we should behave and what we should do. I think me and you had a conversation the other day how neither one of us felt completely comfortable being active on social media during our training, because again, everything that you do separate from medicine is gonna shift the perception towards you being not as serious. All of your failures might be attributing to you not being as as serious and perceived as this idea of how doctors should look like, right? But I think you should do you, and it's very important not to become a shell of the person you used to be before all of that, because medicine takes a lot of your time and it takes a part of your personality, and it just deprives you from everything that used to bring you joy. So it's your job to maintain all of your hobbies, keep in touch with your family and friends in order to be content with what you do. Because I think if you only know medicine, you don't even know medicine. There's a saying, right? So you have to be a very complete person in order to be a good doctor in the long run. Because I think focusing on early retirement is probably not the best idea if it's based on the amount of burnout we're facing right now, if it makes sense.
It makes sense. How do you think AI can help in the well-being?
Actually, that's a great question. I mean, number one, you can talk to ChatGPT, right? As a psychologist this day, it might not give you perfect advice, but it will definitely help you, maybe take some pressure from your shoulders if your friends are not available. But it can actually create an agenda for you, how you're going to structure your days to avoid burnout, how can you prioritize your tasks while maintaining some of your hobbies and things like that. So it can literally create an agenda for you to stay active.
Yeah, I think AI is gonna help a lot in making things more accessible. Like if you want to find a therapist, it's going to take forever, it might be a couple of weeks. But if you have the AI, you can talk to
Also, I think a good therapist is never to be replaced by artificial intelligence. I think using ChatGPT as a psychologist is not bad, and it actually uses legit resources, but it's just not tailored enough, and it's very biased towards giving you advice you want to hear. So you either have to give them a really good prompt of not flattering you in what you're doing, or it's just going to make you feel like a good person no matter what you do, right?
Yeah, initially I think a lot of psychologists were debating, okay, this psychology therapy is all about, being in the place. You guys come in the clinic and it cannot be done. But I have seen people now taking the therapy session on Zoom. So yeah. I would say why not AI? It's still a possibility. I think might be it's not well established right now, but I think in the next couple of years might be this is something need to be worked on.
I will remain skeptical on that one. I think it takes training to become a good psychologist, and it's just it has to be tailored enough, but there is potential. Let's say this.
Humans cannot be replaced. whatever replacement we are talking about is just like 70 to 80 replacement of the work which a human can focus on a better work, like to upgrade themselves. But yeah, I do agree. I want to talk about a little bit more about, since you are now a faculty, you chose the path not to go into fellowship. You want to just do some years of as a faculty, and then you want to go into subspecialty fellowship. So what are the few things which people can do meanwhile they're doing their hospitalist years, faculty jobs, so they can upgrade their CVs, resumes to apply for fellowships?
Right. I think that's a good question. And just to summarize it, we're going to talk about how people are choosing paths to pursue their green card first, whether that's waiver or getting it through the H-1B process before going into fellowship. And I've actually attended a good session on ASCO for trainees where that was brought up with the program directors of the fellowship programs. So I think program directors of the fellowship programs were pretty comfortable taking hospitalists and faculty and PCPs as faculty members, because those people that did their waiver and worked in internal medicine after residency, they're actually more experienced compared to fresh trainees, and they're maybe less burned out, and they have a good background. Maybe they got some rest after residency. So nothing wrong with that. The problem is you got to stay updated with your research, and you have to stay around the academic circle in order not to lose the grasp, because what they are looking into is that not only you just did your internal medicine job, you actually stayed active in terms of your research productivity. You had some output, not just abstracts, some manuscripts maybe, and you attended some conferences, and you were a member of some societies maybe. And as long as you do prove based on your resume that you're actually still interested in that specialty of the interest, I think you have as many chances as the fresh trainee. And besides, if you already have your immigration status secured, that's a big plus as well for programs. Because I know some of the programs, they're not even open to visa sponsorship.
But how are you going to cope with the fellowship salary from the hospital salary or the faculty salary?
Right. And there is the other thing, how you're going to cope with the quality of life, right? It's a main downshifting that you're sacrificing. I think, if you have your immigration status secured, you can moonlight already, right? And a lot of fellowship programs are actually more research heavy compared to residency programs. So you have more free time, and you can take a couple of hospital shifts here and there, and they're paid really well, right? So that's number one. You can do other side gigs if you already have some capital that you were able to accumulate and maybe invest it, or just have some asset that you can spend from the emergency money that you have to have a better lifestyle. Obviously, you're going to feel the downshift. That's something you are sacrificing. But then again, it's always a balance of what you want to do with your life. I think there are certainly ways around it, but you got to be ready to go back to a little bit of a more modest lifestyle compared to what you had as an attendant.
That's true.
But that's
unless you invested that money, you'll have a lot of money. You can do that the same.
I'm not sure if you can do it in 3 years, but yeah, I guess you can.
What are a few things which do you think needs upgradation in the white coats which we wear and the scrubs we wear, like as a physician? So, I have seen people, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is the industry where nobody ever worked before to upgrade these, or is it, what's your thought?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I'm 5'11" in height, so I think making tall scrubs for tall people is very important. So maybe making it more customized depending on people's sizes is very important. Fabrics could be better. I mean, we all love figs, but it's not perfect. The fit is not perfect. It's not as comfortable all the time. I think there is some room for improvement. It's great, but I think, definitely there is some area that can be improved upon. And maybe more color variety.
More variety, yeah.
Right?
Good. What do you think about the infrared fabric?
Infrared fabric? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, let me explain what the fabric is. So what happens is, when the infrared fabric touches your body, it converts the body heat into infrared energy, and it increases the oxygenation of the muscles. Now, when the oxygenation is increased, this means is less fatigue by the end of the shift. And this is one of a great fabric which are now what I think can be utilized in making scrubs, apparels, and we are working on that to implement this idea so we can provide something that is valuable to doctors, because I think saving patients as a doctor, as a physician, like we deserve like something more, something better than whatever exists for now. So what do you think? Do you think this is something which you would be interested in?
Yes, that sounds like a future. It almost sounds like longevity medicine, certainly, if there is anything that can support doctors during their shifts, specifically those who work night shifts or 24-hour calls, that just sounds amazing. I would be curious to try it on.
Perfect. And another material which is a graphene. Graphene means is like there are some material in the fabric that also regulates the temperature. Like if you're doing a shift in a cold area, the temperature is going to adapt accordingly. So you're not going to feel too cold. But if you're in a hot area, you're not going to feel too hot because the temperature is going to adapt accordingly. So these are the two fabrics which we are working with. And most likely, the future is going to be great.
That sounds even more amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the rapid fire questions. Are you ready for some tough questions?
I am, yes.
Okay, let's do it. The first question I have is coffee or tea during rounds?
Coffee, always.
Perfect. The first thing you do when you reach the hospital?
Get a coffee or start seeing my patients.
What are your favorite scrub colors?
Black.
And what's the color you're never gonna wear for scrubs?
Orange.
Okay. If you weren't a doctor, what would you be?
Movie director.
What type of movie?
Anything really. Starting from documentary, ending up with some horror movies maybe.
Okay. What's your favorite hospital floor to round on?
10.
Okay. Like a stethoscope, brand, loyalty.
Littman.
Littman, obviously.
Always.
What is your favorite antibiotics?
Ceftriaxone. No adverse effects, almost.
Labs you always order no matter what.
Yeah, that's basic. CBC, BMP, always.
Your proudest residency moment?
Graduation day.
That's a good one. If medicine was a Netflix series, what would your episode title be?
The one where she made it.
If you wanna ban one EMR system from the US healthcare system, which would that be?
I haven't used anything but Epic, besides one time when I went to Beth Israel and they have this old EMR that a very smart guy created back on the H. It was so old, I think they got rid of it, and that was for good reason.
Got it, perfect. What's your caffeine to patients ratio during rounds?
1 to 10.
How often do you diagnose yourself after reading Up to Date?
Well, number one, I don't read Up to Date anymore because Open Evidence is the new Up to Date. But pretty regularly, actually, every month I have something that's on my mind bothering me.
Which is the most overrated specialty?
I'm gonna keep it to myself. I can mention something underrated.
Yeah.
So, would that be good?
Yes.
Addiction medicine.
Addiction medicine, yeah, that's true. Soap note or bullet points?
Bullet points.
ICU or clinic day?
ICU.
Okay. Admit note or discharge summary?
Discharge summary, always.
Internal medicine meme account or serious journal article?
Meme account.
Okay. Code blue or family meeting?
Code blue.
Pen light or font flashlight?
I don't use it that much.
Resident prank or consultant revenge?
I don't know. I'm not into that anymore. I graduated from residency, not relevant, sorry.
Your guilty pleasure snack during the call?
Yeah, I don't take calls anymore because I'm a faculty, so I'm typically at home.
When you're a resident?
Caffeine, probably.
Caffeine, okay. The 3 words you are going to describe for a best intern?
Reliable, honest, curious.
Do you check your patient's social history before vitals or after?
After.
Your proudest residency moment?
You ask that? Graduation.
That rotation you never want to repeat?
ICU night load.
Me too. Funniest patient line you have ever heard?
Yeah, I told you I didn't come up with any funny idea for that one.
Okay. Like one thing medical students always get wrong about internal medicine?
It's for people who failed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Julia. I think it's a great to have you, and the reason to have this established podcast is to introduce you guys to the people who can actually bring value to your lives. And that's the reason for the Physicians Fame podcast. It's our powerhouse.
Thank you so much for having me.